People think breaking into tech takes years, but that's not even true anymore. Welcome to the Coffee Chat, where we have real conversations about career, life, and mindset level up. Today, we're having an amazing conversation about what it really takes to break into tech, how hard it is, and if you're doing it wrong. Today, I'm joined by Kenna. He's a principal engineer, and he's going to give y'all the game on what you really need to do to break into tech. So let's get into it. You've had a really high level in tech, right? You've excelled, you've been in platform engineering, AI, DevSecOps. Break that down for somebody who does not know what that means.
I will try my best. I will do my best, I promise. So basically everything that you mentioned has to do with creating applications and creating the environment for those applications to run. When you create an application, let's say example, Amazon shopping, those types of e-commerce applications, they reside on like servers, they reside on infrastructure and all that. To the end user, people like us who actually shop, we don't see that. But there are engineers who are behind that infrastructure, keeping the lights on, if you will. So we're more or less trying to make sure the application is up and running, everything is in order, everything you have to do to make sure that it works.
So you're building, you're coding, you're troubleshooting to make sure that I can get my skincare in 2 to 4 hours from Amazon.
Basically that. Don't get it 2 to 4 hours so that you don't put undue stress. But yeah, more or less.
Okay. So how long have you been in tech? Like, let's get into a little bit of like your background. Like, how long have you been in the industry? Is this where you started? Is this where you knew you were going to land?
Sure. So I've always been a tech enthusiast. If you're counting when I started working till now, I want to say it's about 13 years continuously.
Wow.
But I do have a bachelor's in engineering, civil engineering. But I always knew I was going to be in tech. So eventually I found my North Star. I got started. I got into some of the larger companies like AWS, SAP. So yeah, that's how long I've been. I've enjoyed it so far. It's been challenging, but I think what I want to do is make sure that the path that we've actually traversed, we can share that with other people so that the mistakes I made, they don't have to make them.
Okay, good, because we're going to get into the mistakes, right? So I want to ask the question, are people overcomplicating breaking into tech right now?
I don't think people are overcomplicating things because I think that the reality is that for somebody who doesn't know anything about tech, it's like a whole nebulous ocean. They don't know where to start. So I don't think that they're complicating it. I think they have an idea as to how much they don't know. What I do think is happening is analysis paralysis. So you know how you go out with your homegirl, she tells you that, oh, she's into cybersecurity. Then you go out with another homegirl and she tells you she's in cloud engineering. And then they're both doing okay. And then you go with a third person, they tell you in DevOps. So you as somebody who's
trying to get to the bag. Trying to get in
we'll
tech.
talk about it.
Trying to get in tech.
You're not sure where to start. So I will always say this, like ignore analysis paralysis.
Okay.
Pick a path, do your research, and get into it right away. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till Wednesday. Today. Yeah.
Start there. So if it's easier now, why aren't most people doing it?
That's a good question. One of the things that people need to do more at is their immediate circle.
Okay.
Your information is only as current as your immediate circle. If you're surrounded by people who have like various degrees of motivations, you are going to inherit those various degrees of motivation. So a lot of people are not even aware about how far AI has gone, how much they can learn with AI. They've not, because they surround themselves with people who are not uplifting them, giving them good information. The first thing would be look at your circle. Make sure you're surrounded by people who are innovative, driven, motivated, and are on the bleeding edge. When you're around those types of people, you filter information is going to come to you. And then you begin to understand the kind of decisions to make, the kind of pathways to get into. Those things become clear. People just stay in the same place.
I could agree with that because I learned so much from honestly going to networking events and meeting other people, just even from I would say just a title, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm meeting you, you are like coding and doing other things that most of the people that I talk to, even in tech companies, aren't doing, right? I came from a tech sales background. I was in pre-sales. I'm just the person who shows the things that you build, but it is nice when you get into conversations and you talk about things like quantum computing. That's not something that I'm hearing from people all of the time, but as I've started to go to different events and I've started to expose myself to different people who are in those fields or who are in those roles, like my mind has expanded. And now I'm like, okay, I'm talking about ChatGPT, but quantum computing is actually like we're on the precipice of something that's really big. So I could agree with that. How do people find those people if they aren't just naturally around them?
I think that those types of organic associations are difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to be intentional about creating and curating a circle like that.
Mm-hmm.
Business groups, networking sessions, network. And so in Houston, there are a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
What I typically do is I go to Eventbrite and just search AI events in Houston. It will pull them up for you. I pick 2 random ones and just go there.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to be intentional about these types of associations. The thing about it is it's contagious. You go to one business or tech meetup,
Mm-hmm.
you meet 3 or 4 people, they automatically kind of sort of become like associates.
Okay.
You keep in touch with them, they tell
Mm-hmm.
you about other events, and then you start a chain reaction of just going to different places like that. Before you know it, in time you've developed, like a broad spectrum of friends who are, talking about tech, telling you about events, and sharing some articles and stuff with you. So I would say just be intentional. Everybody has that one friend that's in tech. Leverage them for
Yeah, we do.
that
If
one.
you live in Houston, you definitely got a friend that's in tech for sure.
I've been that friend, so I know.
Okay, cool. So just being intentional about the environments that you're in so that you can start to interact with the people that will help you to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
So have you seen a lot of success with that? Like, do you really have friends that you've met at mixers like me? No, I'm just
So I will say though, like I enjoy mixers because it's an organic way for you to meet people you otherwise wouldn't meet. Like most people go out socially
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really ask questions about what people do. Like you can't go out to a bar and having a drink and then you guys are asking, so what do you do for work? It's a little inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fair game in a mixer.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like mixers.
Yeah.
You literally have to ask them, sir, ma'am, what do you do
do?
for work? And they're almost obligated to tell you.
Right.
So I go for a lot of mixers. I meet people. We ask questions. They give me advice, and I find a lot of success there because there are things, tools, and opportunities that otherwise I wouldn't have known.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, we're busy with our day-to-day lives.
Mm-hmm.
We're also busy at work.
Mm-hmm.
There's only so much information you can gather in that much time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're at a mixer or like a business event, you guys are speaking casually, communication flow, and they will tell you something. You know what I mean? To long story short, I have found a lot of success.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I would double down on that and say I have too. I feel like even just the tools that we use and we share with one another or how we're using the tools has been something that's been really impactful for me. As well as a lot of my friends aren't in tech, right? So when I tell people what I do or I tell my family what I do, it's like I'm speaking Spanish, but then I go to an AI mixer with you guys and it's like y'all speaking Spanish because it was going up. No, but it's like I understand the terminology. Like you get excited about, those types of things because it's what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So yeah, And most people want to share. We're kind of like nerdy brainiacs. So we like to share, like, what we're doing, what we're working on, and like how we're using technology. So I want to do like a industry reality check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is tech being oversimplified online? And I'm asking this because you said you've been in the industry for what, 13 years now? I've been in the industry for like 7 or 8 years. And prior to COVID, there was not a lot of visibility into tech or what we do or the lifestyles, or there wasn't as much interest. And now I feel like everybody wants to be in tech, but some people are selling it in a way that's not realistic. And most people are looking at it from an income perspective versus like what it actually takes to get to that level of income.
So I think that there are a couple of things that have always been true for tech. Real tech jobs are high paying, obviously, because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who have been working from home for years. I think what happened was when COVID happened, and most people had to go to work to make ends meet, and have an income. A lot of tech people didn't have to do that because they were already working from home. So there was a spotlight shown on, like, hey, how are you making six figures and you don't leave the house? Like, right. We've been having drinks all this while. I didn't even know you didn't leave the house. Like, there was a lot of spotlight around that. And then in that COVID period, there was a lot of overhiring. So it was easy to get into tech if you went into a good boot camp and you learned something, you could get a job, you get in. That COVID period shone the spotlight on tech itself, but also allowed a lot of people to get in. If you notice, there's a lot of reduction right now because they overhired during that period, and companies
and DEI went crazy during that time too.
Yes,
DEI went really,
so a lot
really
of companies were hiring to fill like diversity quotas and all that, and it was easier. It was really easy to get in. Boot camps were left, right, and center. But the fundamental thing is that if you want to get into tech, it's not easy. You have to stay consistent. A lot of people are selling these like, hey, join my boot camp for 2 months, you're going to make six figures. They say that. But when you get in, you find out that, one, you can't get a job because obviously the guy who's selling the boot camp is working. So it's easy to say you'll get a job. There's a lot of work that you have to do personally. If you're not motivated, it's not going to work. There are days you will go to work and you feel like, I need to quit today because there's so much frustration. You have to be tolerant to high stress. There are days I get up and I want to curl back into bed because there are troubleshooting scenarios that I'm like, I wish this could fall to somebody else.
Yes.
These are the types of things that, in realities, people need to be aware of. Yes, eventually you get the job, you make good money, you can do the things you want to do on a personal level. But to keep the job requires a lot of dedication, motivation, and constant learning. People learn once and want to forget about it. You can't do that in tech. You're going to have to continue to evolve because if you don't, somebody who does is going to get your job. So
yeah, I definitely agree with the constant learning. Tech is changing every single day in the way that you are. Honestly, I feel like sometimes in my job, the way that I am being judged is based off of how efficient I am at using tech as well as knowing our technology. So it's not just the technology that we're selling or that we're giving to our customers. It's also like, how efficient are you in using these AI tools to make your job easier or to make you more efficient in your job? Because even though they're saying like AI is taking jobs, it's not taking the job that I have per se, but it is being used as a tool to make me more efficient and to do more work, or to do harder things more often because I'm not doing the redundant tasks as much, but I am also being judged on that. Like, how are you filling this out? Are you going line by line? Are you taking 3 hours? Are you putting this into AI and have it draft the first draft for you? So
I will say this though. Of all the jobs in tech that are at risk, I think your job is probably the safest.
Really?
Tech sales is something that you can't really automate away. Like you have to talk to people.
Oh yeah,
You
that's
have to you have to form relationships and build trust for you to have repeat business.
So right now I'm in implementations. I ain't in tech sales right now. I'm trying to get back. But I do agree with that. That's to me personally, being in that role and then now I'm in implementations, I'm like, I feel like the redheaded stepchild because tech sales gets all of the money, they get all of the praise, they get the best benefits, they get go on the best trips, they do the best things, go to all the events. So I would definitely agree with that. Um, yeah, I feel like I've been seeing people say like, "Oh, you can break into tech in 30 days." And I'm like, it's not that easy. You can't even learn enough in 30 days to do that.
I think that a lot of the people who say stuff like that, they don't have any substance or data to back it up.
Mhm.
Like if you can
Clickbait.
get into if you can get into tech in 30 days and you're out there saying that, the market will be flooded with people in tech. So there's no like it can't be that easy.
It's
And
not.
it's not it's malpractice to make to no, I'm being very honest. Like
No, it is.
it's malpractice to say that.
So what are people getting wrong when they even, like they're starting to get in or they're like going after those quick I feel like it's like a get rich quick scheme. What they doing wrong?
So as somebody who has his own boot camp,
Mhm.
where we train engineers.
It's a commercial.
No, it's not. I promise you it's not. I
I'm
want to give you
joking.
I want to give you honest opinion
Yeah.
from the back.
Mhm.
I think where people are getting it wrong is they come in with a burst of motivation that is just enough to take the class, just enough to take the training, and there's nothing left in the tank to move
Mm.
forward in real life. I'll give you an example. When you pay someone to do training, that is the easiest it is going to get. After you get into the job, you're talking to people who don't care that you did boot camp. They have real deadlines. They have tasks. They're not going to ask you, "Oh, you learned this in 30 days. Well, we can give you some allowance." No, they're going to say, "Why are you here? You can't do this task." So I think people get frustrated because they're not able to reconcile what they learned from wherever they learned what it is
Mhm.
to what is available in real life.
Mhm.
Real life is harsh.
It's
You're going to have days where you put your foot down and be like, I need to learn this stuff. This is not what I learned when I was getting in, but this is what I need to learn to keep my job. Some people don't have that kind of motivation. If you're going into tech, you have to be willing to hop on YouTube, learn something random, talk to your manager, talk to your coworkers, say, hey, do you have 30 minutes? I'm struggling with this. Let's sit down. Can you break it down for me? You have to have alternative ways to make you successful. You cannot just throw your hands up and be like, well, the guy that sold me this boot camp said it was going to be a little easy. It's really not.
yeah, it's not. So as we're talking about that, right? Because skills are important when we talk about what you
Mhm.
learn, how you leverage them, how you leverage other people. What skills actually matter today?
My opinion of skills, the skills that matter today is one, most people don't index on this, humility.
Hmm.
Humility, and I
Yeah.
say that because if you walk into a team and you're humble, your team members will be willing to teach you. They would like your disposition. You're not arrogant. You're not loud. Well, when I say loud, I'm talking about loud and you're
No, dog.
all not even know it all. You're arguing all the time. You don't
Mhm.
listen. So humility. These are soft skills that you need to progress. One is humility. Another one is curiosity. You can be in a technology right now, and the technology becomes redundant through no fault of yours. However, you're going to have to retrain. And if you're not naturally curious, you're going to be frustrated that, well, I got in with this particular technology and they were paying me this much money. Now I need to learn something else to kind of retain the income level that I had. A lot of people are not curious. You need to be curious.
So I'm gonna pause you right there because that is hard. That is a true statement. And just speaking as I told you earlier, like I got laid off. I was working in a contact center for 5.5 years, and now I'm in like content man. I'm in a totally different industry, and it is hard. I was in a pre-sales role, right? So the skills that you need in pre-sales is just like you're building things on stilts. They don't have to work. They just have to look good, and you just have to
Everybody
sell
hates
them.
pre-sales people.
I love pre-sales because I like to smile and trick people. Now I'm in implementation. It's like, oh, I have to know how every single button works. These things are breaking. My customers are upset. Like it's a totally different playing field. And I am frustrated. But it is that you have to like take a step back and just realize you got to learn again. You have to learn a new. So for me, I feel like I'm learning a new set of skills, right? I was always being problem solving, but it's like it's a different level of problem solving when you got to go and take the phone apart. Like I used to work at Apple too, so I was in the Genius Bar. We all are smart. It's just a whole bunch of like tests and resets. When you got to go to the Genius room and take that phone apart, it's different. That's a different level of skills. That's a different level of like stress, different visibility. So I would say the same thing. It's like I feel like I'm learning a new set of skills, right? Because these are our customers now and the stakes are higher, right? Turnover, retention, all of that stuff matters. So yeah.
I do think that you have the right approach. I think that as long as your curiosity stays intact, and I want to bring back a point that you made, a lot of people come into this for money.
Yes.
And then they get to realize that motivation on, hey, I want to be able to travel whenever I want to, work from home, sip pina colada while I'm actually working. If that's the motivation, it can only carry you but so far, because on the job itself, you're going to have a lot of frustrating events that will actually redefine if you want to continue or not. So people need to be, yes, you need to be motivated for money, but it shouldn't be the only motivation because it cannot carry you that far.
Yeah, because right now I feel like I am in a season of like relearning, right? Because I came in, I'm like, oh, I used to use this product at my old company. I know this. And it's like, I know how to use it as a user. I don't know how to train people how to use it. I don't know how it works in and out. And then with technology advancing every other week, there's something new that I have to learn and I have to you know, spend time workshopping and those types of skills. So just being a lifelong learner is something that I have had to revisit, and just being a freshman again. Like I feel like I was a senior when I left my old company and now I'm a freshman, and it's hard to be new, but I have been learning a lot about myself and just like you said, other skills, humility, like learning how to leverage your team, like learning how to find the SMEs on your team and those who are like super willing to help, and being able to get guidance and information and also like support them in the ways that I can as a new person. But yeah, humility for sure and learning all the time is what you're gonna do.
All the time.
All right. What are people wasting time learning right now?
Ooh, what are they wasting time learning?
Yes.
I honestly don't think that you can waste your time learning stuff. I'll rephrase it as, what are people looking at that may be redundant pretty soon? But I don't think you waste your time learning anything. I would say, like, whatever it is you're doing, if you're not looking into AI in some way, shape, or form, it is dangerous. Like, AI is redefining how everything is done. Either prompt engineering, either generative AI, whatever it is, AI is embedded into almost everything.
Everything we do.
All the applications that you interact with have some form of AI embedded in there. Understanding how it works means you can actually use the tools better. So I don't want to say like you're wasting time learning something. Whatever it is that you're doing, get into AI as quickly as possible.
And then what should people stop focusing on?
What should people stop focusing on? I think pick a lane. Pick a lane, throw the kitchen sink at it.
Explain that.
So I'll give you an example. Remember we talked about you having a friend of yours that is doing cybersecurity, and then you have another friend who's doing DevOps. You have another friend that's doing cloud, and you as somebody trying to get in, you're looking at all three of them. It's not going to work. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to have analysis paralysis. You can't decipher, determine which particular one you want to do. Pick one.
Okay, so just pick one.
Pick one. Focus on it. Follow it all the way to the end. Like, do your research, but don't dibble and dabble. Like, context switching is very, very expensive mentally. You want to pick a focus and follow it through.
Okay. All right. So we've been touching on it a little bit, but what do that tech money really look like?
You want the tea on tech money?
We want the tea. Give us all the tea.
I'll try my best.
Okay.
I will say entry level is always 6 figures.
Okay.
And it goes up from there.
Okay. So are we talking your type of role, right? So when we talk, right, or are we just talking getting into tech, getting in the right company, you don't land here?
Entry level for tech, if you do it right, is always 6 figures.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. So mid.
What's mid? Like the actual mid-level?
Yeah, mid-level. Okay, so let's define entry, mid, and senior.
So that's a little difficult because it depends on the particular field. Tech has a lot of swim lanes. It does. A lot of swim lanes. Unless you want me to pick one.
Pick a lane.
Pick
a lane you know.
I'm gonna pick a lane I know. So I'll give you an example. Let's say cloud engineering. Cloud engineering entry level, you're looking at about 120.
Okay.
Mid-level 160. Seasoned and senior 200.
Okay. And what do you need to do, or who is an ideal candidate for that entry level? We just start there.
I think that anybody who has a genuine curiosity, well, first of all, you'd be motivated by the money, which is the default. Secondly, it should be somebody who, in their personality, they follow things through. They don't quit midway. They follow things through. Because there are trainings that can teach you from scratch. Things like Linux, and we don't want to go into too much detail, but there are trainings that will teach you from scratch. You just have to have a high threshold for frustration, a high threshold for learning, a high threshold for absorbing information, doing research and stuff like that. Even if you, I've seen people train, they came from driving Uber to making 200K in less than 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I have seen this.
Wow.
Mentored people and have live references.
Oh, wow.
But the only thing that's common to all of them was dedication. You can tell people who are going to succeed. Okay. To a neutral person, you can tell. They're motivated. It doesn't matter that they're not like experts, but they're motivated. They ask questions. They do research. You give them assignments. They do it on time.
They all in it.
You can literally tell. Like, you can make a bet. You're going to be successful.
That's cool. Okay. So AI, right? All knowing. I feel like, whew, Lord, this is like the word of the century right now. But is it lowering the barrier for people to get into tech, or is it creating new gaps?
The first part of the question is yes, because with AI now, if you're motivated, you can literally learn anything. And you can learn things in a format that is personal to you.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. If you wanted to learn cloud engineering right now, you can prompt it. Tell ChatGPT or Claude, I want to learn cloud engineering from scratch. I want you to show me a curriculum with links on how I can be a cloud engineer in 6 months. That is something that is a practical prompt. It will generate the information for you to do that. The question is, do you have the motivation to click through those links, read the documentation, and do all that?
Yeah.
So in terms of getting into AI, getting the resources, in terms of getting the tech, getting the resources, yeah, absolutely makes that barrier a lot lower. Back in the day, it was difficult to do troubleshooting. When something happened, you would have to dig into documentation. Now you can ask Claude and it brings it out. You wanted to get into a new field, you have to go look at official documentation and all that stuff. But AI makes it a lot easier.
Okay, so my question or my challenge to that is like, are there even enough jobs for the people? Because I also feel like everybody is shifting their attention to tech. Everybody is shifting their attention to AI because we know that that's the next wave of things. Is there enough jobs for the people who are, trying to learn how to be a cloud engineer in 6 months? And do they actually have the skills if they don't have it on their resume to get into those roles?
So I think the second part of your question was where this was going to be touched upon.
Okay.
Which is whenever there's a new technology or a new paradigm, it brings with it the pros and cons. AI brings with it the ability to get into anything as quickly as possible. But then what it also does is because of that, companies are facing companies who are facing challenges that require a lot of people to fix now have the tools and technologies to fix them much faster and not need as many people. So while it's giving you the ability to get in quickly, it's also shrinking the number of jobs that you would be getting into. It's just, it is what the reality is. What I was trying to get people to understand is it kind of feels like there are new roles that are AI augmented that you would have to look into.
Okay.
So like a traditional engineer, but with a bit of bias for AI, using AI to automate some of the stuff that you do is much safer than a regular engineer who has no idea of AI. Your job is at risk because you're going to be in a position where it could be automated away. And there's data to support this. Like Block let 4,000 people go, and the CEO just announced it like, hey, we're not losing money. We're just letting 4,000 people go because we can do the job with 6,000 people. Wow. So 4,000 of y'all. Google just laid off a bunch of people, Amazon. So there's a lot of layoffs, but I feel like AI would usher in a new set of jobs that people need to start retraining and getting themselves involved with.
So you're saying that most people, if they are looking to be a cloud engineer right now, they need to be trying to figure out how to be an AI cloud engineer or going into some type of specialty.
Add some level of AI knowledge to what you're doing. Okay. It doesn't matter whatever field it is.
Okay. So from an AI perspective, what do you feel like is real versus hype?
The robots ain't farming yet.
You said what?
The robots are not walking the streets.
No.
So that was hype.
That is.
Autonomous robots, self-driving cars, all that stuff. We thought that, you get into an Uber, it would just be driving. You didn't have. So that's the hype. The reality is that a lot of companies are using AI as a way to fire a lot of people.
Okay.
And when a lot of companies want to cut costs, they hide it under,
they're scapegoating.
Yeah, we can do this better now, so y'all can leave. We're going to use AI. And then let people go a whole entire department. That is reality that AI is bringing. It's a consequence of being able to solve issues much faster. But the reality is ushering in like unprecedented levels of layoffs, and the job market is saturated with a lot of talent. So one thing people need to look at is you're going to be going into a job market that is saturated or populated with some Amazon engineers who have been at their job for 12 years who are pretty good.
I want to compete with them.
Google engineers. So, but the thing is, you can't let that be a reason why you don't get in. But you just need to understand that this is a reality. So if you're going to go in, try and be the best possible version of yourself. Don't half-ass it. Just give it your all. Give it your best shot, because you're competing with people who are very good and are in the market, who have live experience.
So I feel like we talked a little bit about like excuses, procrastination, barriers, all those things. So time, money, background, what are real barriers for people that are trying to get in versus just excuses?
Artificial barriers?
Yeah.
We talked about this. Your immediate circle giving you the right information so that you know exactly where to get started. That's a barrier. And that has real consequences, because if you're surrounded by people who don't know better, you're never going to do better. That's one. So your surroundings, your environment is one. The friends you hang out with. Look at your 5 friends, the 5 friends that are in your circle, and figure out exactly what they talk about most of the time. You're going to find out that you're kind of in those conversations too. So, you can either be the one that motivates everybody else, or you look for a circle that motivates you. One of the two. That's one aspect of this. Another aspect is motivation itself. This whole stop-start mentality that a lot of people have, it's not going to work.
It don't work.
No, it's not going to work. You have to start and plow through this no matter what. Like, make sure that you're internally motivated to continue. No external motivation is going to come. There are days when you're studying, your friends want to have margaritas, and you should be able to tell them, I'm going to see y'all next week because I got to fix this. I got to study for this today. If you drop everything that you're doing and you lose momentum because you want to have margaritas, that's on you. You need to stay focused, stay motivated internally without anybody having to tell you what to do. I think there are a lot of issues, but time is also one thing. Time management. Where do you spend most of your time? If you can't track how much time you spend on activities that don't bring food to the table or value to your life, it's a big problem. If you're looking at all the time you spend hanging out, nobody said you shouldn't hang out. But how much time are you using for leisurely activities versus activities that actually put food on the table? You have to track that. If you find that you're spending a lot of time on activities that are not bringing you direct revenue, money, value, you need to cut down and start spending your time more. Study more, to get on YouTube. You have AI now, get training. You just have to make sure you're using it, because you don't, like, time is a finite resource. You get what you get, and you have to make the best of what you have. So I would say that.
What's a realistic timeline for someone who is trying to, I guess, break in, right? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? I mean, we know it can vary. But if somebody is motivated, if somebody is being intentional, and if somebody is actually leveraging AI in your boot camp, what's the realistic timeline for that?
First of all, we don't identify as a boot camp.
Okay.
We identify as a very serious tech party.
Okay. A tech party.
Okay. A cohort of tech people who like each other, motivate each other, and are kind of sort of paying to learn. That's how we, But I want to speak from personal experiences that I've seen.
Okay.
I have seen people do it in a year. From 0, 1 year, 6 figures.
Okay.
And when you say it varies based on personality of the person involved. Motivated people are motivated people. 24 hours with a motivated person is not 24 hours an unmotivated person because of how they utilize their time and how much productivity they're able to achieve. So a very motivated person, highly, high achiever, can do it in a year. Some people can do it in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But on average, you can change the trajectory of your life in terms of your career in 1.5 years to 2 years.
Okay.
On average.
I feel like that's a really realistic, because everything seems so popcorn, right? Everybody wants instant results. And I'm like, 1.5 to 2 years, that still goes by fast if you're being intentional, because you're also making other successions along the way. You just haven't gotten to the biggest goal, but you've passed certifications. You've started to have a new network of friends. You've started to meet mentors. All of those things are happening during that time period as you're progressing to like that career trajectory.
Whether you like it or not, a year is going to pass.
Yep, it is.
It's better for you to have invested that year in something that when it passes, you'll see yourself in a bigger, better, more situated position than you were before.
Yeah. Are you going to be fat or are you going to be fit? That's one of those. Okay. So just a quick action plan, right? So somebody listening to the podcast, somebody that is inspired by what we're talking about, what's something they should do this week?
First of all, find where your knowledge gap is. Find time to see, what do I know about tech?
Okay.
Just have an honest conversation with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then talk to somebody in your network that is in tech. And based on the information you find, tell them, hey, I don't really know much about this. I was researching and I found these are pathways that I could take. Which one do you think is more viable? They tell you, you go back and do your research. Do that this week. And then start researching where you can get those trainings. Mm-hmm. Once you research where you can get those trainings, look at your actual situation. Can you afford it? If it's something you can afford that you have to make, sacrifices on personal luxuries, then you start to plan and do that. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, your future self would be much prouder of your past self based on the sacrifices your past self actually made. Those sacrifices include maybe, buy less jewelry, travel less.
Travel less.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but
no.
You need
less
to make
happy hours.
I don't know that many happy. I don't know how many happy hours you can sacrifice, but yeah, I get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about hiring. Mm-hmm. You told us what makes somebody stand out, but what gets somebody overlooked?
Perceived arrogance. So in tech, the way a lot of these interviews happen is most of the time the person interviewing you is going to work with you on the same team. Mm-hmm. So they're gauging a couple of things. One of the things they're gauging is your technical ability, but another thing they're gauging is, can I work with this guy? Mm-hmm. Can I work with this girl? Mm-hmm. Does she look like if I give her an assignment, she's going to, go off and do whatever she wants? Does she look reliable? They have an hour to figure it out. So good interviewers or interviewees are able to hide their personality flaws for just that 1 hour so you can get in.
It's like a first date.
Yeah, more or less. So if you are perceived as arrogant in an interview, you couldn't hide it for an hour, they're going to be like, oh yeah, it's going to show up in 30 days. But we don't want pass. Another thing is being overly confident about some stuff that's absolutely wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, it's okay for you to say, well, I don't really know this stuff, but I can learn. Mm-hmm. Rather than you don't know it, you feel you gotta fill the time, and you're confidently talking about an unrelated topic. They're gonna be like, okay, I don't know if I can work with this guy. He's not authentic. he's not taking personal accountability of stuff he doesn't know. I don't want that. So those are two of the
main
well, not main. There's a lot. But.
Yes. Okay, two to call out. All right, so I know that previously we sat on the panel and we talked about like founders, AI, we talked about consulting, and just a quick blurb, like what do you feel like companies are struggling with or entrepreneurs are struggling with in AI right now?
I think it's the knowledge of what AI can do for them. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of saturation about AI. It's a buzzword. It's a technology. It's a paradigm shift. It's a philosophy. A lot of people just hear it and are just overwhelmed, overstimulated, and oversaturated. Mm-hmm. What they struggle with is looking at their entire workflows and pinpointing where AI can actually help. They just hear about it as a buzzword. A lot of them don't know what it can do for them. Mm-hmm. Typical example would be prospecting. AI can help you with that. But if you're not sure, or if you're not keyed into AI being able to do that, you're just going to be continuing to do the manual processes. So it's that base and fundamental knowledge of what AI can actually do for businesses that a lot of businesses don't even know. Mm-hmm. You need to, so for AI to help you out, you need to know your workflow end to end. A lot of businesses actually, believe it or not, don't know their full workflow end to end. Like they do stuff. Like, you got to send an email, to a vendor. You got to aggregate, all your prospects into an email. You just do it. Mm-hmm. But cataloging that entire workflow, like I have to do this. Identify the workflow, node 1, node 2, node 3, node 4, node 5, put it out, lay it out visually. Mm-hmm. Other processes that you have to do, that administrative overhead and operations tasks, or they're repetitive, put that in a block. Mm-hmm. That's marker for AI. Mm-hmm. Once that admin. Yeah, businesses should clean up their processes and identify them. They should also understand what AI can do and then get somebody to come in and implement it. Mm-hmm. I think they're struggling with that whole, not knowing about AI, not having their business processes well defined, not knowing where AI can come in. Yeah. It's just like you don't know what you don't know, but it also is like, do you even know your workflow first? Right. Okay. So what is something you believe about tech that most people, they would disagree with? Most people would disagree with. Money is not going to make you happy. Mm. Oh, wow. The tech money is not going to make you happy.
It's because sometimes it's golden handcuffs.
Yes. It's a lot of work. And sometimes you're going to feel like you wanted to make less money doing something else and having your time back. Mm-hmm. Because, people are like, oh, well, you're going to make money, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But there's a cost to it.
It is.
Context switching, burnout, just general fatigue. These are real consequences. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The money ain't worth it.
I did not say that.
Well, the money ain't everything.
Exactly.
The money
it's worth it though, but it's not everything.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna do a rapid question round real quick before we close. A tech skill to learn ASAP. AI. The biggest mistake you've made in your career so far?
The biggest mistake that I've made, staying a database engineer for too long.
Okay.
I should have left.
Okay. Salary or passion?
Ooh, that's a hard one. A passionate salary.
Passion over salary?
A passionate salary.
A passionate salary. All right, we're going to take salary for that one. Okay. Is the degree worth it?
A political answer or
your
real
answer?
Life?
Your answer.
Depends on context. It's worth it if it gives you the ability to articulate yourself better. Will it propel you in tech? Not really.
Okay. If you were to start over, first move.
I would get into AI and start learning everything I know.
Okay. Belief, what's one belief that you've unlearned since getting into your role?
One belief that I've unlearned: you don't have to be the star of the show. Mm-hmm. You should just sit back and be more communal and let other people shine.
Okay. Awesome. Well, Kenna, I appreciate you pulling up. This has been a really, really amazing conversation.
I'm happy to have been here.
Yeah, we might have to run this back because we didn't get into your not boot camp, your tech party. We didn't get into that. So we might have to have another episode and bring you on the talk.
I see what you're doing. You want to bring me back here.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for joining us today on this episode of the Coffee Chat. As you guys know, we are on the road to 500 followers. So make sure you are liking, subscribing, and sharing. We will have all the information for Kenna in our description down below. And until next time, I'll see y'all in the next Coffee Chat. All right. Bye, guys.